Hello, wonderful people. Welcome once again to our JIRA for Scrum Masters. In this session, we are going to look at Daily Stand-Up. So far, we have had our epics, our user stories. We have refined our user stories, moved them into the sprint. And then now we started a sprint coming to active sprint view currently where we see the board. And this board can be customized, okay? It can always be customized. For some teams, it's not just to do in progress done. For some teams, it could be to do in development, peer review, testing done. Whichever way you want to configure it, you can be configuring it. So you have a daily stand-up so that you can be able to check on what every team member is doing. Sometimes developers can get distracted, okay? Or they can decide to be working on something that is not essential for that particular sprint. He could just be overly focusing on fixing some bug or doing some refactoring or some peer review. There are so many things he probably could be overly fixated on. So with daily scrum, you get to see each other's work. It brings that transparency and collaboration among team members. So you don't want to take it for granted. And how do they do the daily stand up? Daily stand up before the remote work, it was always done in the same place. Everybody stands and they just spend 15 minutes, not more than 15 minutes. That's how we were doing it. And still it should be 15 minutes, okay? But then because now we are not meeting, we are remote than being co-located, we do them on Zoom. So one other thing is that during daily stand-up, we are not going into details of a person's work. If details are required, maybe somebody talks about an impediment and by another developer can explain how the person can get out of that impediment. We don't do all these at daily stand-up. You schedule another meeting for these people so that they can handle that outside the daily stand-up. And the attendees are mostly the developers. And then Scrum Master, rarely the product owner, unless they need the product owner to come and give them some further explanations on something that is becoming an obstacle or a constraint. So, daily stand up is very important because it helps the team to become more accountable to each other. Now, how do we use JIRA? You can do daily stand up without touching JIRA at all. But I would advise you get your team used to JIRA so that when they use JIRA, you can actually be able to tell what is not moving. Okay, so on this board, we are able to move. You can see right here. Okay, so let's say this is showing we have two people we've assigned work to. We could have as many people that will be here. All the team members will be here. You see these buttons here. So if you want to see the work that BA is doing, you click on BA and it will show all his work. So BA currently has nothing in progress, right? And as part of a daily stand-up format, you discuss three things. One is what you did yesterday. Two is what you are doing currently. And three is what obstacles you are facing. So when you come here, BA will tell us what he did yesterday, what he's doing currently, and what challenges he's facing. If there is nothing here, team members can decide to ask questions or Scrum Master can be able to ask questions. Right? So If you when you filter to a particular, as the developer is talking, you want to filter to the exact work or issue that belongs to that developer. So from the top here, you can just hit on that developer's work so that you have transparency into it. And then if you realize a particular task was scheduled to begin or was scheduled is a high priority that should have been probably even in done, but it's not being done, you sort of engage this developer to find out perhaps he's been having some challenges. And by having a discussion, it could be a very, very simple thing that has just held him up and not making him uh, able to progress with this user story. So this is what basically we do in daily stand-up. There are times when the team members are working and management or stakeholders may start to approach some of them and drop some work on them. You would have to define all these things. You would have to define communication channels. And when the moment you start sprint, you can't just be dropping in issues or user stories. When you do that, it will be creating scope creep and spike. So for anything to come to the sprint, you would have to discuss this with the product owner and the entire team to see how urgent it is, and to also see the capacity of your team members, whether they can take it on. If it is so essential, if it is so urgent, then it's likely there is going to be a trade-off. Trade-off means you are going to probably take some of the work in the sprint out, and then that new user story is going to be added to the work. But then this user story you are going to add to the work, you are going to make sure it goes through all the process of refinement. You add the description, you add the acceptance criteria, you add the version, you add every other thing that makes it whole. Any attachment that needs to be attached, mockups, wireframes, anything that has to be. So, and then you estimate it. Then you can bring it to the sprint. So this is what we do in daily stand-up. I hope you have understood it. If you have enjoyed it, kindly don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you can join us on this awesome journey of learning JIRA. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.